Welcome everybody who's going to watch this video here or in the future. I'm Brandon, joined by the lovely Eloise, and we're working on some stuff.
Hi everybody. I am currently working on posting a video of our dog who is snoring in front of the fireplace, but that's not what we're working on.
That's very important though.
That's very important. We are working on painting. Brandon learned last weekend that next week he will be in Atlanta, and we just want to make sure that he has an army that does not look like it was painted 5 seconds before being put on the table for Michigan GT.
That never happened.
Never
Fully
happened.
painted army. Fully painted.
It had 3 colors. It had gray, black, and the red of the Kroot.
Go ahead.
And we're back. Hopefully it works better. Currently, when you get a computer 6 years ago, who was the bare minimum to run City Skylines 1. Well, they made a City Skylines 2 since. Let's put it like that. So let's go through what we were doing. I am still painting Brandon's Kroot army for Atlanta, because next week Brandon will be in Atlanta playing with friends and a lot of people that we do not know, actually.
Actually, there's a whole lot of people I don't know, so...
The dogs are getting mildly excited for nothing.
So, to bring everyone up to speed, last week, Saturday, I was invited to participate in the Warhammer World Championships in Atlanta, and I wasn't really prepared to go. So, for the past, I guess today's day 8, I had to determine which army I'm going to take. Then I had to determine a display board for it, because while I had a display board, I felt like it wasn't a good showcasing of what I was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I knocked out an entire display board in about 7 days.
Oops.
Which is pretty cool. That display board is practically done. I might touch up 1 or 2 small things on it, but it's practically done now. So the next thing I have to do is, before I actually knew I was going to Atlanta, I accepted a project from a friend who wanted me to work on some chaos night bases for him. And I said it'd be done in 2 weeks. Well, I need to get those done because 2 weeks will put me
right in the middle
right,
of the World
right after the Warhammer World Championships. So I'm focusing on getting those done, and then Eloise has graciously volunteered her time to spend hobbying with me and painting some Tau
while
I work on this basing project. So that's where we are. So I am working on about 18 War Dog bases for Chaos Knights army. We're going with a Imperial Sanctuary Church scheme. We're not entirely sure, but it doesn't matter. But it's going to be cobblestone. It's going to be a cobblestone building, and then I'm going to have the ruined walls and ruined columns and all sorts of stuff put in. But what I need to do first, before I build any of that other stuff out, is get the flooring done. And it takes forever. Not that it takes forever to put together, but it takes forever for it to dry. It's just a very long drying process.
and to cut.
Oh no, the cutting's easy.
Oh, no, I don't agree.
You don't agree with the cutting?
Took you forever.
And looking how many little foam blocks I need to finish one base, I'm probably going to have to make more.
Do you want to put you on the big screen?
Sure.
Because what I'm doing is very, very exciting. I am touching paint on things that I half-as painted a couple of weeks ago.
So I painted them for Michigan GT just to get them on the table. I had kind of.
When I say half-as painted,
we made sure they were the bare minimum.
they have 3 colors on them, you know.
Yeah.
And
now we want to make sure they're fully painted.
yes.
I don't know how well I'll do at this event, but I do know that I want to represent what kind of hobbying that I do enjoy, and to show off the conversions and show off the base work and the display board, and that requires me to make sure the army's fully painted.
Actually do it.
Yeah.
So, as said, before the computer decided to die on us in the first 30 seconds of... by the way, the connection is excellent.
As is tradition.
Look, the connection is excellent. Look up to your left.
Good.
Trust me, I'm an engineer.
Trust you, you're an engineer. See, this is why I need you to just stay home like every day on a stream and.
Sure, I have zero doubt that.
Your job will love it if you just. Like,
my company will just say, "Of course, Eloise,
Yeah,
support your husband in his endeavors." Because the automotive industry is like that, you know. They're nice, they're sharing, they're loving, they're compassionate.
They allow you to work from home, you know.
I mean, they allow me to work from home as long as I'm contagious. So there's that. They're kind. The automotive industry is known for its compassionate kindness.
I feel like there's a little bit of sarcasm.
Oh, I would never dare. I would never dare. But I am going to fix it while I'm here, so that maybe while I'm not here, it also works without me being here. You know, computers and machines do not know who is here and who is not here. So I would expect it to work with or without me. But those are my expectations. My expectations are very often disappointed.
Well, let's hope. Because I like streaming. I like doing the battle reports. I also like, you know, uploading hobby content videos. And I want to make sure that when we do decide to upload that kind of content, that it's
quality content.
Quality. Like, you can tell what I'm working on. You can tell what we're doing in the game. You can tell.
I mean, before we fixed it, it looked like you were having a seizure. Your hands were like... So yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So present day Eloise kind of hates 3 weeks ago Eloise for having half-assed it that bad.
Well, I started it, and then so Eloise and I are at the tournament painting models.
No, so you were. What is painted in your army is very well painted and very well converted. So you were in line for best overall. But
they were like...
You cannot get best overall with half of your models not painted. I mean, it's not how it works in real life. So we made sure that before you go into day 2, before you finish your game on day 2, let's put it like that, that everything was painted. And it was.
Totally painted.
It had 3 colors.
It had more than 3 colors.
It had more than 3 colors. But past Eloise did not do a very good job at...
Well, so where did you go? Because you went on an adventure one of those days.
I died. I had food poisoning. I took a nap. I took a 5 hours
You got
nap.
your nails done, didn't you?
Oh no, I went out for a massage. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so you got a massage. And, like, I had a bucket of paint and brushes with me. And, like, after my 4th game, I was painting models. And I painted probably about 3 of them while I was just sitting there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm attending this tournament, not to paint models, but to hang out with people. So I just stopped painting and went to lunch and got a drink and was hanging out with everybody. Which is probably more important because you're there for the experience. So while I probably should have just stayed there and finished the models and make sure they were fully done,
Nobody cares.
at that point, I wanted to hang out with friends. Because, when you move far away, it's kind of hard to see people.
Yeah, we used to live in Indiana, so Michigan GT is run by Bill, who is a dear friend. And all of our dear friends go to that event. All of your dear friends. I mean, I'm just here to be pretty.
Yes, because nobody wants to hang out with you whatsoever.
Nobody wants to hang out with me.
No one enjoys your company.
No, that's true. We agree.
You're full of it, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I don't know if people can hear me because the mic is not on me. The mic is on the lamp. Because since I'm looking down, if I put the mic in my t-shirt, it's just rubbing on my neck fat. It's making me very self-conscious.
I mean, when you word it like that, that's just it's the sexiest thing I ever heard from you.
I know. Romance is not dead. Where's the beige? There. Yes, I said I would make fun of you, and then I forgot.
Oh, good. So that you just start making fun of yourself.
I have to make fun of something,
I'm going to make fun of you, but then I'm going to just make fun of myself.
I said I would make fun of you because I am super proud of you. The event is in 3 days, and you're working on the army. You did not wait until the night before.
Oh, I'm sure I'll still be doing something the night before. There's always something, like repainting some grenades that you missed, or painting some eyes that you were just not quite happy with, or touching up.
Oh, you're going to be
something.
painting some eyes, all right, because I am not touching the eyes. So, yes, sir.
You don't have to touch any of them, and I do truly appreciate you working on them so I can work on these bases.
Dreamwork, teamwork, something.
Something.
Sorry, I said a lot of words. I forgot to breathe. Okay. So I believe all of your brownies done. Yes. Okay. Next.
So who are you? Why are we even going to this event? Didn't you say like you wanted?
Okay. So let's rewind how it all happened. Let me try to paint and breathe and tell a story at the same time.
Do you want me to tell a story? I feel like I could tell the story.
Okay.
Without dying.
That's a skill that I cannot promise you I have. So
you are getting over illness, so it's possible.
So you tell the story.
So we found out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That one of Eloise's college university friends. From France, because Eloise went to school in France, not the United States. Is coming over. Man, I'm breaking the models. Is coming over to.
Hey, you said to paint them. You did not say to keep them warm. It's coming over.
In all fairness, I didn't say to paint them. You said I'm going to paint these. I'm like, okay.
I said I want to help.
You did. So one of her friends that she hasn't seen in, what, 15 years?
Yeah, since I left France, yeah.
Well, this individual is one of the judges at this tournament, and she messaged him, like, hey, what's up, bro? Is it cool if I come hang out? Like,
no, so he posted that he would be here. And last year, for Warzone.
no, there was another Games Workshop tournament.
Warzone Atlanta.
It was not Warzone Atlanta. He was not in Warzone Atlanta. He was in New Mexico.
What did we go for in Atlanta?
Warzone Atlanta.
Okay. So last year you had friends that were in Atlanta, and we drove to Atlanta to see your friends. Correct?
Yes.
So I told Brandon, I am so glad that you agree. This year we do the same for my friends. To which he said, but he didn't know he didn't have a choice.
No, I was prepared to go down there and visit. Like, I of course I want to meet your friends. You talk about them in a positive light, and I haven't met them yet. So, and they play 40K. So, what better of an opportunity to talk 40K and make some new friendships with Eloise's friends? So I was more than willing to go down. I just wasn't expecting to go down.
You do realize that all of my friends are way smarter than me, right? I am the dumb one in our friend group. Just so that you know what you're signing up for.
So once again, why did you say you want to make fun of me when you're just making fun of yourself?
No, that's a fact.
It's okay. And then when they meet me, they'll be like, man, that guy is dumb. He only speaks one language.
We had a hoopsie.
Yeah.
We're fine. So yeah, we were to go to Warzone Atlanta to hang out to go say hi to Mathieu because
This is Warhammer World Championships, not Warzone Atlanta.
Yes.
They both take place in Atlanta.
Yes.
Do you want to go to the Warzone Atlanta? We can.
I want to go
That
see my friends. I don't care which one it is.
Well, I don't think he's going to be in that particular event.
Well, he was in Vegas for LVO, and he gave me the heads up like 2 days before, so I could not go, because
Well, it was our anniversary. You said, we're not doing anything 40K for our anniversary. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. And then you did out of the blue say, hey, you want to go to Las Vegas for our anniversary? And I'm like, the communication's very strong. I feel like there's some ulterior motives here.
No, no ulterior motive. No. So yeah, we missed each other at LVO. So I wanted to, and he went to WTC, where you were there, but I could not join because I had just started my new job.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
basically, I just keep dodging him. So this time I was not to dodge him. I forgot to do that. Doobie-doo. So long story short, I have a friend from France who's coming to Atlanta. We were to go no matter what. And last weekend, Brandon got offered to join as a player. Well, got offered. Won a ticket. So I'm not sure you got offered.
Acquired a ticket. I mean, it is an offering. I mean, you have to do the work, and then you have to say, hey, It wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't played well. It wouldn't have been possible if I had a completely unpainted army. I did work leading up to it.
I did work. Up. If anyone who knows how to paint is watching how I paint, they are probably having a seizure at this point.
That's why I'm looking at my own work.
No, you're not. You're not making fun of how I paint, are you? Are you? No, I use one brush that I rinse between color, and I change color all the time. That's how I paint.
Well, you're practicing your wet blending technique. You're fine. That's what they call it, I think.
That's what they call it when you just go from one color to the other with no rhyme or reason.
There's you're mixing water in there, so you're wet blending. Yeah.
100%.
Which is a technique that you actually do way more than I do. So.
I don't know what that means. I know
my technique is I like dry brushing. La la la.
I hate dry brushing. I did not do the gold on those boys. I forgot to do the gold. Okay. We're gonna go back. So how does it feel to go to Warhammer Championship?
How does it feel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so since I found out so late, I missed out on all the informational emails and messages and phone calls and planning seminars that they had about it. So I feel like I'm completely in the dark about the vast majority of everything. I also am well aware that I'm probably not the most competitive person there. And I'm more going to just, show off a nice looking army and to chat with people. Like, I have zero expectations. Like, I don't think I'm going to win it by any means.
For Battle Point, I would agree. They are some extremely strong players going. Not that you're not a strong player.
There's extremely strong players that are going.
You're not as strong as you used to.
I just don't put the practice in. I play maybe once a week, if that, and then I go to a random GT and play, and then take up practice games when I can. And that's okay, I'm at a different point in my life where different priorities. Oh man.
I'm glad you didn't say my wife is a monster. She tortures me.
Well, no, I can't compete with people who live in a house together and all they do is play 40K.
But
I could do very well, but I can't compete. It's not my career.
Some people, if you go to Europe, if in the US you have a lot of people who made it their raison d'être. That's all they do all day, every day is Warhammer 40K, which is fine. If it works for them, go for it, my dude. If you go to Europe, most of the top players in Europe have a real life.
Well, I think it's an issue of monetary compensation and being able to have work-life balance. So, in the United States, because there's so little vacation time, the best players are the ones who allocate their entire livelihoods to playing because they have the most time. But in Europe, when you have 6-7 weeks of vacation.
Oh, no. 5.
Still way more than here.
5 plus holiday.
Yeah, way more than here. You were telling me about all the holidays you have. I'm like, that's a holiday? You guys celebrate that?
Wait. So yeah, I actually never finished the list. So the French holiday.
Okay, so in the United States, if you have a government job, your holiday schedule is approximately 11 or 12 days if you work at a government job or a nonprofit. If you work for a corporation, such as yourself, you probably get 6 days.
So you have Christmas, you have Easter Monday. We do not do Good Friday. In the rest of France, we celebrate Good Friday in Alsace. The light on your camera is not on.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to turn it on.
I can, but I feel like it's pretty bright.
Assumption.
And these aren't church holidays. I'm talking about actual paid days off. The government pays you to be off. Because we have lots of religious holidays.
No, I'm telling you days where you're out of work. So in January, you have the 1st of January, of course. February, March, April, you have Easter Monday. We do not celebrate Good Friday in non-Alsace.
I mean, I'm not even a religious person, but I know that Jesus died 3 days after, which would be Monday, not Sunday.
I mean, I can count to 3 as well. What you gonna do when they come for you. Then you have May 1st, which is Labor Day, International Labor Day. Then you have May 8th, which is the end of World War II. Then you have Ascension, which
in Europe.
In France.
Yeah.
We do not... When I was studying in Germany, I expected, for probably a very good reason, for them to be off on May 8th, which they were not.
I don't think they're going to be off for Hitler's death.
People be holding grudges. Then you have Christ ascending to heavens, which this year was on the 18th. And then you have Pentecost. I am talking to you.
I know, and I'm trying to... I don't know what that is. I don't know what Pentecost is.
It's a holiday.
But I don't know what it celebrates or what it's about, so...
I forgot, actually. That makes me a terrible... Pentecote... La Pentecote.
These aren't holidays in the United States that I'm aware of.
It's a Christian holiday which takes place on the 50th day after Easter Sunday. It commemorates the descent of the Holy Spirit. So you celebrate when he goes up and then when he goes down. That's a good thing we believe in a boomerang. That's more holiday. Then you have... So that's just May. In May you have 4 holidays.
Okay.
June, nothing. July, you have July 14th, which is Bastille Day.
Yeah.
Then you have Assumption on the 15th of August, which is what I told you. We have a holiday for Mary.
Yeah.
Then you have All Saints on November 1st. Then you have on November 11th the end of World War I. And then December, and in some places like Saint-Étienne, which is very, very close to Lyon.
Yeah.
The 26th. So that's...
So count how many for that.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 in the rest of the world, 12 in some region, and Pentecost is a holiday, but you work and you give the money to old people so that they don't die when it gets too hot.
Doesn't sound like a holiday. It sounds like a taxes.
Well, it's a quote-unquote voluntary holiday where you work, but the money that you make is given to the government.
Okay. That is...
super random, I know.
Yeah.
And I think it's for old people so that they don't die when it gets too hot. But I'm not sure. It came at the same time than the heat wave a while back. I believe it is for... I believe it is for old people and heat, but I'm not sure.
I mean, okay, so let's talk about American government holidays, since that's what I have most practice. We have New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day.
We don't have MLK.
Well, yes, because he's an American icon. We have President's Day in February. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I'm going to say, Good Friday observed, because it's not actually called Good Friday. It's the day before Easter, the Friday before Easter. They call it Spring Holiday. So that's 4. Okay, then we have Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, depending on what state you live in, you either get Juneteenth or you get some sort of Confederate holiday. So
You still have. Sorry, they're
100%. There are still random. There's Lee Jackson Day, Robert E. Lee Day. They have that in Virginia. When I was in West Virginia, they had West Virginia Day, which was the day that West Virginia seceded from Virginia.
It's Independence Day times 2.
Yeah, well, it's like 2 weeks before July 4th. So then you have July 4th, and then you have so you have Memorial Day, July 4th, and then Labor Day, which is in first Monday in September for whatever reason.
Which is super weird because everywhere else in the world that I lived, and I have not lived only in France and the US, like I have rolled around.
Riding dirty.
Yeah, international.
Yeah, like I don't know why we celebrate Labor Day at the end of summer, when everyone else celebrates it.
May 1st.
May 1st. So then we have Christopher Columbus Day, or Discoverer's Day, which is still a bank holiday for whatever reason. That guy didn't discover shit. Couldn't discover himself in a paper bag, so pointless holiday. And then every other year we have Election Day.
Election Day.
Oh shit! I forgot. We have Primary Day, which is every 4 years. So that's you get a day off to vote.
Primary Day is a day.
It's called Election Day, but it's for primary elections for the presidential election. So you can get that day off.
Wow.
Well, I personally think Election Day should be a federally mandated holiday. Everyone should be voting.
In
the United States.
France, it's on a Sunday.
Well, in this country, it's on Tuesday. I don't know the history or rhyme or reason why election days are on Tuesday, but it's on Tuesday. So then we have Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of state governments and local governments celebrate the day after Thanksgiving. They do not call it Black Friday. I think the reason.
Really?
Yeah. I think the reason for that is they probably acknowledge that nobody actually comes to work that day, or if they do,
or comes to work super duper hungover, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just. And then we have Christmas, and then we have New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is typically a half day.
Wow.
So, let's see, what other days? I'm trying to think. West Virginia Day. Yeah.
Alright, I'm done.
Yeah, so it turns out to be about 11 or 12 days.
So you guys have more holidays than us.
Well, it depends. So each state does something different, right?
Well,
each county does something different.
I see you guys have been living here for 6 years. 7?
Because there's also school district holidays too, which there's a lot of teachers, so I'm aware of those. Like some states and areas and cities take off St. Patrick's Day because it's an acknowledgement that, hey, this might not actually be a holiday for everyone in the United States, but there's so many drunken idiots and everyone calls off that you might as well just make it a holiday, and then you lose a Martin Luther King Day or you lose something else.
Yeah. Well,
but so it's like it's generally about 11 days, 11 to 12 days.
Yeah, so it's very, very similar, if not more, than what we have.
But they're more. They're not as religiously focused as I feel like those are.
France's holiday are extremely Roman Catholic. Like, if you are not part of the hey Blizzard, if you're part of any other religion or any other variation of Catholicism, your holidays are not acknowledged. Period.
kind of like that here, though. I mean, the only holiday that I see openly acknowledged on a regular basis would be Hanukkah, and it's not like you get time off, but they just widen Christmas Day off as winter break. You know, like, oh, well, what do you mean Hanukkah's in the beginning of December this year?
Yeah.
You get this day off, and it's conveniently December 25th every year.
Yeah, if you celebrate any of the Eid or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything like that, yeah.
But, you know, I don't see a lot of states and cities adopting non-Christian religions days of celebration. I don't see that happening for a couple of different reasons.
Which kind of sucks. I would take a Shabbat. Like once a week, you physically have to do nothing.
Well, I mean, it'd be kind of cool. Like, I don't make policy, you know, but it'd be kind of cool. It's like, if you're living in a diverse area, that it'd be cool if the government office just said, hey, you know, these are the days that we recommend you take off, but if you choose not to take off those days for whatever reason, you know, and you want to take off days for your own personal belief, like, you should be able to use those days however you want.
Yeah.
I just don't see that ever happening.
I just don't see how it would work for, like, companies like mine, where we have...
You just build them in as vacation days.
We have machines to run, you know?
Yeah, so you build them in as vacation days. Because, like, your plant in China runs differently than your plants here.
That is true. That is true.
Like, I'm pretty sure in China they lock the door and they say, hey, go enjoy these...
They put seals on the doors. Yes, that is true. They seal the door so that you have to celebrate Chinese New Year.
You will celebrate Chinese New Year.
I can't remember if it's Mid-Fall Festival or Chinese New Year. It has to be
I think it's Chinese New Year.
Where they put seals on the doors. Like, you gonna go stand up in a train for 18 hours to drive back to your family. Will not work. So in China, for Chinese New Year, they oversell their train, so you can buy a standing ticket where you do not have a seated spot. And if you find a seated spot, good for you. But you do not have a seat reserved. And you have fast train and you have slow train. And fast train is super duper fast. Like Shanghai, Beijing in, I don't know, the time of an Eloise nap. But the slow train is super slow. Like Beijing Guilin in 28 hours. And if you don't have a seat, you just stand.
It's going to be a long 28 hours.
28 hours standing in the train.
That sounds awful.
It does.
There's nothing enjoyable about
and
that.
It's a continuous train. Like it
like there's no stops?
It does stop. It stops on the way down, but it's not a train with a connection where you can stay at a hotel overnight and come back or something like that. You stand or sit in the train, period. I had done that with my friend Audrey at the time.
Did you guys stand the entire time?
No, we had the first class sleepers. So we had a 2-people cabin only for us. Which, no matter how much you love your friends and your loved ones, 28 straight hour...
28 straight hours stuck in a cabin with them?
Yeah. It is a challenge to positive feelings. Because at some point... Everybody's human, you know? Everybody is human. So we were talking. Well, I was talking and you were listening. I believe that for your streams, mostly the streams that you do with Brad, Now that I have you as a captive audience and you cannot run away.
Well, you better super chat this in so I can... Just want to make sure I can see it, you know.
Come on, it was funny.
That's what I'm telling you. You should super chat this one so I can see it.
I cannot super chat. You don't have enough subscribers for me to be able to super chat. Sorry. We don't have enough subscribers yet for me to be able to super chat.
Getting there.
Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Choo choo, come back. I think you should pick your projects ahead of time and do it the cooking show method. Where, like if it were this trim, you would do a little bit of the brick cutting, which takes forever, and I do not know how you think it's fine. But that's neither here nor there. A little bit of the brick cutting. Like 10 minutes, because it actually is objectively boring. Then some bricklaying. And then you would have ones that are dried but not cut, that you would cut the round. So you would have, the next steps would be this one that's wet. Then you would have one that's dry where you cut it, and the next step would be that. And then you take it from there and you take it through the finish line so that in one stream you can have the different steps that it takes to do the thing, and you can drop some nuggets of wisdom and hints and tips at each step.
It's an idea.
Don't make me laugh when I'm drinking, please. Well, based on how excited you are about this idea, I know how you feel about the idea, and I highly appreciate your input. I think you're wrong.
You think I didn't even say anything. I just said it's an idea.
Uh-huh.
It's an idea.
Why did we married? I know when you want to say this is one of the most stupid ideas I've ever heard. Without saying it, you know. Because I say a lot of stupid shit, so I know that tone, you know. So what do you think?
What do I think? I do think that I should have a more consistent, like, this is what I'm going to work on this day. And that requires a little bit of planning, which, you know, some days I have a plan, on other days I don't have a plan. I just wing it, and that's okay.
I still think you should take one project from top to bottom. Like, as someone who consumes, if I say quite a bit, it's a lie. If I say a lot, it's very close to truth. As someone who consumes a significant quantity of online content, and by significant quantity, I mean, I use that as background noise, and I never not have background noise.
She uses the background noise so much that she falls asleep to it.
That is true. It helps my brain not think about things that will prevent me from falling asleep. You know, some people have white noise machine.
Eloise has random history facts.
I have a history of rabies.
You're not wrong. Like, this is a
true fact.
This is a true statement. Alright, so let's set this aside.
Those are dry. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Alright, well, maybe I'll try your cooking show method and take some of these ones that are drying and start cutting on.
And that's my opinion, and maybe people who will watch or who...
Well,
We'll
To
tell
me,
us.
it's more of an opportunity to chat with Brad, and some days when he's on top of it, we'll get into some very interesting conversations. Other days when he's feeling like death, we do not get in those interesting conversations.
Yeah, but it's the hobby stream. I would watch for the hobby content. But then again, I'm a weirdo, so there's that.
Well, if it's... Then we need to find people that actually like the hobby, not Brad.
You like to hobby.
Yeah. Leave him alone, Blizzard.
I mean, you and I are having a hobby stream, and I do not necessarily like to hobby. I like the end result of the hobbying.
Yeah. It's about the journey, though, Eloise.
No! The journey is a pain. Crying out loud, like you flip bottles and put liquid everywhere and...
Well, don't do that.
Thank you. Appreciate your expert input. No, the hobby in my mind is a pain. The destination is...
The destination is...
what brings me joy.
Alright, well, we're going to check it on you. So, let's see.
Am I on camera?
Yeah, you're on camera. So what have you been touching up?
Okay. I am going to try to show you all, not on that one, but on his friend behind. So, those Kroots, I don't know if you can see. Those Kroots have legs. Put. And some of them were half-assed. Like, he does not have painted legs. And some of them were half-assed the other way, where the seat between their leg has become part of their legs. So currently I am touching up on the seat between their legs to separate the chair from their pants. Which is a sentence I never thought I would say out loud.
Yeah. You gotta separate them. It's almost as if like they got super glued to the seat or something.
So yeah, what am I touching up right now? I am making sure that the pants are not merged with the chair. I mean, I have worn dresses and shorts on vinyl.
Maybe they're wearing, some like leather
Yeah,
pants.
pleather seats. Have you ever? Yeah, you have, because it's not a dress thing. See, like it happens also with shorts. When you get stuck when you go in a dining in a booth and you become one. You become one.
No. I don't think I've ever become one with a diner couch before.
Really? When you try to get out of the I don't know, you call it the booth?
Yeah.
Or you call that, yeah, the booth. When you try to get out of the booth and you have your short and you have the top of your thigh. Oops.
I think it has everything to do with the temperature inside the restaurant and the amount of skin-to-skin contact.
You never got stuck on a pleather couch?
No.
Crying out loud.
Well, I don't wear booty shorts, so...
I don't wear booty shorts either.
And before you ask, I haven't got stuck to my car with leather seats during the summer either.
I don't wear Daisy Dukes. I think we've been married for long enough for you to know that I do not own Daisy Dukes. Dukes?
I'm actually not 100% sure on that, but we'll go with a yes.
Oh!
There are boxes in the garage that you haven't gone through yet, and I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt that they don't exist.
I can promise you without a shadow of a doubt that none of those boxes... Okay, the box in the garage, one of them contains pottery glazes. The other one contains magnets to put on the fridge from my past travels. None of them are Daisy Dukes. Daisy Dukes are neither pottery nor travel magnets.
But there's fish tank stuff in there, too.
Yeah, one of them is a fish tank item. Yeah, no, none of them is Daisy Dukes. I appreciate the enthusiasm. If you wanted to marry a Daisy Duke kind of person, my poor dude, you got it wrong. I'm sorry.
Sad reacts only. You know, I'm gonna toss a theory out to you, Eloise, and you can either confirm or deny this.
If I were wearing Dizzy Dukes on stream, it would have more viewers.
I mean, you and I both know that depending on how much skin is being showed, it increases the amount of people watching.
I'm showing a lot of skins. Look. Ooh. So much skin.
But no, my theory is, I started talking about putting up the Christmas decorations after Halloween, and you wanted them to go up after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you wanted me to go to the Warhammer World Championship is so I don't put up the Christmas decorations early.
No, that not even remotely close.
This is a working theory.
That's your theory?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go. Does his theory bring you joy? Because this theory does not bother me, so if it brings you joy, go with it and run.
Run.
Run within the joy. No. I just think it's too early.
It's not too early. We saw our frost in our breath the other day. Yeah. Well, being in the South, it's also kind of weird because we're used to... Well, you and I are used to more climate weather where, you know, there's the potential for snow any day after, like, October 15th.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that problem here in Tennessee. At least where we are currently. Like, if we lived on top of a mountain, maybe it'd be an issue.
Okay. Okay. So.
But generally speaking, actually, historically, for me at least, I always got in the Christmas spirit.
After Halloween?
No, actually, it was not immediately after Halloween. I just do that because I know it gets a rise out of you.
I love you too.
No, when I was living on my own, or when I was dating before we met, I got into the Christmas spirit by going to the Du Bois GT, because I would have a good 6 hour-ish, well, actually it's probably longer than that, depending on where I was, between 6 and 10 hours drive, depending on where I was driving from, to go to the tournament. And I would see all the maples and all the leaves and everything. I was like, oh man, this is perfect. Like, it's the end of fall, you know, it's very beautiful outside. And then when I would go up to a tournament, it would start snowing pretty regularly. Like,
and then every other year you would have a blizzard.
No, Brad just exaggerates, but it never blizzard when I went. It snowed a couple times, it never blizzard. I think the most snow I ever saw was like 2 inches while I was up there. But then I would drive through, and it would be, usually it was this weekend, it's Veterans Day weekend, and I would drive back home, and people had their Christmas lights out, and this is when the Christmas music would start being played on the radio stations.
When they were done thawing Mariah Carey.
Yeah. And it was right about this time when I'm like, man, I guess I need to put up my Christmas decorations. And it's just, I'm going to that tournament, coming back, and I'm like, I'm ready to put up the Christmas decorations, you know? Like, it was super cold, and then I came back to something a little more temperate. And I'm ready to put the tree up.
When is Du Bois?
Historically, it had been over Veterans Day weekend, but this year it's next week.
Oh, so it's at the same time than the...
Yeah, that's why Brad's not going to the Warhammer World Championship. He's going to Du Bois. Also, it's way less stressful. Brad puts undue stress on himself because he wants to do well at every tournament he goes to. And he wants to just take the next opportunity to just kind of relax and enjoy himself, which Du Bois is a fantastic event for relaxing and enjoying yourself. I also think that the people just expect him to do very well. So, which...
I could not live with that level of expectation on me. I'd be like, you know what? You guys are gonna be disappointed, so I might as well flail.
Like, I mean, even me, like, I expect to do okay, but, like, I don't expect to win, and I don't have that expectation thrust upon me. And I don't think anyone's like, Brandon's gonna win this whole damn thing.
If Butters were in the chat, he would say that you have your chances for best overall. With his level of hobby.
Yeah, well, it's not a doubles tournament.
With his level of hobby and your...
anytime I go to a tournament, I just try to do my best. I don't necessarily plan on winning the whole thing. I don't.
While I genuinely do not.
You go to have fun.
Anytime I go to a tournament, I go to try to make it out alive.
Yeah.
So far, I've been pretty successful.
It's a death match.
So far, I've been very, very successful at making it out alive. So.
I didn't realize that your life was at stake in participating in these tournaments.
I mean, it feels sometimes because you are so sure that I could be good.
I think you could, but I put the caveat on when you care. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think you care right now for obvious reasons. You know, you're busy with work, and you know you're using this as an outlet to de-stress. Now, if work wasn't as stressful and you had more free time, yeah, I do think you would be very well.
I don't think so. What if I'm tapped out? What if I'm at my max performance? It's as good as it gets.
I mean, your max performance is currently nothing. So
I mean, you're making a compelling argument right there, sir.
Given the fact that you've played a grand total of 6 games?
What if nothing is as good as it gets?
I just have more faith or belief that, I think if you play more than 6 games per year, you'll do better. I actually played more than 6 games this year.
I did, because there were...
Not much more, but you played at least 6 games.
3 at Michigan GT.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can count the ones on day 1. The ones in the afternoon on day 1. I was dying.
I thought those were green.
Those are green. I want you to do those that are red.
Actually, purple.
Purple?
Yeah.
So first, let me remove that.
I think the dogs want to go outside. Alright, let me finish cutting the stuff off this basement. I'll let you out. Don't worry, Cranky.
I'll let you with my mic. Allez, marche, on va dans le jardin? Vas-y, par là. Là. Allez, venez. Venez.
Yeah, I always forget we have a side door that we can just let him out. Like, I usually just run upstairs and let him out.
Oh, no. They live in the power of lazy.
I'm usually, like, taking all the flights of stairs to go.
Oh, no.
And let him out outside, upstairs.
No, 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 no. This is not what we do.
That's not what you do. I mean...
You don't believe in the power of lazy enough?
Well, now that we're getting into the season where it's super muddy in the backyard, I'm probably going to start doing that. Just because I don't like cleaning up the dog mud.
Yep. Agreed. So, oops. There you go. So how do you feel towards going to Atlanta? Are you stressed?
Well, we started talking about it. I feel like I don't have any information, and I don't really know what to expect. So.
Who should we reach out to so that you can get the information you missed out on so that you're less stressed?
I'm not stressed. I just said, I don't know what's going on. That's it. Not knowing what's going on is not the same as being stressed.
Not knowing what's going on is not stressful to you. It's the worst to me. Like, I don't get stressed easy if I have all of the information and I can make educated decision. Like, making decision under pressure is literally the only thing I'm good at.
Well, this isn't a life or death kind of thing, though. This is a... Alright. It's... I'm just going to go roll some dice and push some figures around.
Wow.
It's not that
That's where we are.
At least I have at least I know that there's a hotel and that I'm playing games in the hotel, you know.
That's where we are in, like, deep to the core different.
Deep to the core?
Oh, yeah. Like, if I don't have all of the information, my body thinks it's a life or death situation.
But what would make it a life or death situation? I leave here sometime in the afternoon on Wednesday, drive down 4.5 hours probably to get to Atlanta, and then
3 more hours in Atlanta.
Whew. I hope not.
Because gotta love Atlanta traffic.
No, it should be going the opposite direction. Theoretically. I would like to try to get there like by 7-ish, 7:30-ish. Yeah. So we'll see what actually happens because, you know, stuff always pops up, like, you know, forgetting to pack a pair of socks or something. So I get there. I check in at my hotel first, so I have a place to drop my car off. And then I walk the block away because the main hotel sold out.
Why don't you drop your thing?
The display board?
Yeah, and then go park.
Well, because I don't know if there's a place to put it at the venue that I could just leave it there.
Who are the TAs?
People from Games Workshop. That I haven't gone to a Games Workshop event since 2007.
Should we call James? James Workshop.
Yeah, if you have a number for him, you know, like.
I don't, but I know someone who knows someone.
You know someone who knows someone?
That's a joke.
No, it'll be fine. It's whatever. It'll all work out.
Okay.
I just don't know why I would be stressed about.
Not knowing.
The most I would say stressful thing for me is where to put my display board, because I don't want to walk around with it all over downtown Atlanta. Like, I really just kind of want to leave it in a spot and say, hey, you know, here it is.
When is Crawley getting there?
Sometime Wednesday night. I guess there's also check-in stuff going on Wednesday, and because you got people coming in from all over the world, they're flying in.
Yes.
I imagine they fly in. If it were me, I would fly in on Tuesday and use Wednesday to adjust. I imagine there will be. So I imagine there's a check-in, you know, like to get any swag or any information packets or, you know, dice or whatever. And I'm assuming that's Wednesday, so I want to make sure I get to check in. But yeah, I just know that there's games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and depending on how well I do, there will be either more or less games being played. So
Oh, they do that kind of stuff too?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like things like
So
that.
it's effectively, you have the narrative event, and then you have 2 World Championship tournament type events. So the narrative event, anyone could have gone to, that's not invite only. I have no information about that. But then you have the 40K World Championships, and everyone's broken down into pods, and I think there's 8 of them. And then the top people from each pod, I don't know if it's top 1 or top 2 from each pod, move on to playing for best general.
And in your pod, you have a lot of people that we don't know in Pakistan, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they released the pods. I looked and I'm like, meh, I don't really care. Because it's once again, I'm not going to win best general. Like, that's not my goal. My goal first and foremost is just to meet people and hang out. Like it's almost as if I want to have fun and like play the game, you know? I'm not gonna, maybe I'll chat with 1 or 2 people about lists I should look out for and like strategies for those particular lists, but outside that, I don't know if I really care, because it's a pod and there's a lot of different armies and a lot of different people from all over the world who are playing, and you can't really. It's not like a team tournament where, I could design my list to play against this one particular style of army or be a defender. Did I win? No? Well.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think I'll get last place at this tournament? No. Do I think I'll do decent? Yeah. Define decent? That's a good question. I don't know what decent is.
A greater number of win than loss. Anything where I have more win than loss, to me, is a victory.
Yeah, I think that is a reasonable expectation. I mean, playing in a tournament with people from all over the world. I mean, if you're flying in from a different country to come compete in an event, and you truly feel like you could win this event, I don't know if I just have that level of dedication.
I don't know if I have that level of self-confidence. So if and when we live in France, you don't think you're going to fly to Atlanta?
Well, it depends. So I know depending on which event you win, and depending on which area you're coming from, there was different levels of support that tournaments or Games Workshop, I'm not entirely sure who, provide the players to help support getting them to the World Championship.
Oh.
So, like, if you win one of the frontline gaming events, or you do well at them, they pay for your hotel, they pay for Airbnb, a shared Airbnb for all the FLG winners, and the flight.
Oh.
Because their events are all over the country. So I imagine there's a similar thing in Europe, like, I'll go out on a limb here. I don't know if it's Games Workshop paying for it or if it's the various tournament club organizers or clubs paying for it. But like, I could see a world where the Federation of France 40K team, in order to help generate more interest in their events, gives the representatives from France who are coming to the United States money to play and fly over and participate.
Oh, that would be a fun question. If we move to France and you play in France and you get a ticket there, would you play for France or would you play for America? Like your...
I mean, it would be whatever country we could potentially move to. Like if we move to Canada. Or...
Your Belgian friend, if he gets a golden ticket at a Belgian GT, does he represent Belgium?
No, he represents the United States. But his situation is specific to him. Because he literally works for the United States government. So I don't think it would be a good move on his. I don't think it'd be a good look for somebody who represents the United States government to play for Team Belgium.
I've heard they have good beer.
I mean, that's why he lives in Belgium. But I don't think saying, oh, like I am now
A proud representative. So would you want to be team? You don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it depends. Like, if I'm whatever gaming community we end up living next to or moving to in the future. Just like in Eastern Tennessee, where I support the local game store, and I try to go as many of the local events as possible.
Yeah, but you never introduce yourself as part of the Tennessee crowd.
That's fair. Yeah, because all the people from this area are also from other areas too.
Like, I've never heard you. You're from the Midwest.
Yeah. Well, I guess I haven't lived here long enough to identify as someone who is from Tennessee, because I'm not from Tennessee.
Fair.
I live in Tennessee.
Fair. Rice is not from here.
I don't know.
His wife is from here. She's country as a biscuit.
Okay.
Which is a term of endearment here in the South, just so you know. My colleagues say that about their kids or their grandkids when they have the accent. And
Eloise, are you as country as a biscuit?
French country. I am a country as a baguette.
I'm as country as a croissant.
I am country as a pâté en croûte. Mm-hmm. The crusty pâté that I showed you.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
The pâté that's wrapped in the dough, in the pastry. I am a country as a pâté en croûte. This is how I end up with stupid nicknames on the internet, just so you know. That's how Crémentia started. If you wonder. Up. Okay. So we have the drone weapons. You are not brown enough. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Up. There you go. The problem is that we are trying to bring to the same level of wash and color and all of that. Things that have very various level of.
I mean, I've owned this army since
1994.
Tau did not exist in 1994, but that's a good guess. I originally started the Kroot Tau army in 2007.
So since it's wash time, I'm going to move them back, make sure that they're dry. I'm going to grab the ones we worked on this morning and wash those because they for sure are dry. There we go.
Do you want to check on the dogs, or do you just want to leave them out there?
They are very, very happy right now.
Oh, okay.
I can hear their joy through them. Do you want to go back on you? Because I am doing boring stuff.
I mean, I can't ask anybody. I mean, there's someone who keeps jumping in and out of watching us, but I don't know who that person is. But I'm gonna go with the bold assumption that either laying little stone foam pieces is probably about as boring as a
Absolutely not.
Yours is way more fascinating and interesting.
Really? We should trade. Because making patterns with little stones is so cool to me. It's one of those, super relaxing, like cutting the soap in little square. You okay?
Yeah, it's just lagging again.
No, it's not. It's an excellent connection.
It's 100% lagging again. Because we're at 70% CPU usage, and we're filming at 28.23 frames per second. But we've also been on for a hot minute, so.
Well, it's up to you.
No, I'm just saying it's not recording as high of a quality.
Up. Okay. Hey, Blee Blee. Where did you put your brother and sister?
I ate them.
I mean... Hey, Blee Blee. Tell me something I don't know.
I left them out behind the shed.
Tell me something I don't know.
The hawks can get them.
Yes. Oh, that was super funny. So yesterday there was the super small birds that live in a school. I don't know if you say school of birds for birds, but that lives in big groups.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of them yesterday.
Yeah, because it's
time
time for them to start migrating.
And the dogs were like, wow, fascinating, much birds, wow. And the auk came around, just took off from his tree, did a flyover, and they all flew away and never came back. And I'm like, well, I guess auks eat small birds.
Yep.
I mean, praying mantis eats small birds, so why not hawks? Did I tell you that when we helped Natalie move her shed, which you probably did not know that Natalie had a shed in the back of her yard.
I've never been to Natalie's house, so no, I don't realize she had a shed or that you helped her move it.
You've never been to Natalie's house?
No,
Okay.
I've never been to Natalie's house.
So Natalie had a shed. A huge shed that was taking, like, she had a single lot, and the shed was the size of 3/4 of the lot, which significantly reduces the amount of yard work that you have to do if you don't have yard, and all you have is room to store your tools. So she had a huge shed, so she had the shed sold, and the people came and picked it up. And it is so irrelevant to the story, you're gonna cry. And the shed rolled over a bush. You know, when they pulled it out, the shed rolled over a bush. And when we were like, oh no, you're breaking the lavender, we all looked at the bush. And the worst thing in the bush was not the lavender being flattened. The worst thing in the bush was the praying mantis who was looking at us while beheading a bird. And we were like, what the fuck? Clearly no one cares that the
Story time with Eloise.
Lavender is flattened. Was it a bird or a dragonfly?
I don't know if praying mantises are taking on birds. I feel like this is something that I guess is theoretically possible. Just seems very unlikely. It had to have been a dragonfly. Because dragonflies get pretty big. Especially where you were. That's a very... There were some large dragonflies in some of the nature preserves around the watershed.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see a dragonfly, or I don't see a praying mantis just
Chomping on a
chopping
bird.
on a bird.
I see a bird in my mind, but it could have been a dragonfly. Let me ask Google when I go shut the door after the dogs. If Hey Google, can
Hey Google,
can praying mantis eat birds?
let me look up this super messed up thing.
I mean, I remember it being super messed up, so.
And I'm not saying they can't, like, especially if the bird's dead already. You know, they're just a source of decomposition. You know, being carnivorous, but I just don't see them actively hunting birds.
I generally seem to remember it was a bird, but I've been extremely wrong before, at least 5 times today, so. Okay. Let me go.
Yeah.
Shut the door.
Yep. Oops. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, doggies. Well, so it's 3:30. Why don't we call the stream and we can show off our what we've been working on so far?
No.
No?
You need to finish a project.
Well, it's not going to be finished. And the computer's starting to explode. It's saying that we're over recording stuff in OBS.
What does it mean?
It's working hard. That's what it means. I don't know. It just said.
What was the message? What was the error message?
OBS is over recorded. Please turn down the video recording speed. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I think I need to cut up some larger bricks. I've used a lot of bricks on this project. Well, between this project and the display board project, I've used a whole lot of bricks.
Yeah. Yum, yum, yum. Also, wash. It's day and night, you know? It's the before after.
Yeah, it adds a little more grime and it adds a little more character to said models.
Oh, and the wash or grass or shade. It's a little bit too dark for what we want to do. So we are diluting it with water and pouring medium for acrylic pours. And we'll see if it works.
Well, it's the current recipe. So they've changed the recipe. And I've noticed that when I was painting, since I've been painting my bases and when I was painting the Tau back in January, it's different. It's a different recipe. It's more sticky. It's more dark. And it's also it has more gloss to it. That is something I need to pick up at some point in time in the next 2-3 days. I need to get a can of varnish from Home Depot. The spray stuff. And put it on the display board. To help protect it.
Mm-hmm. I also think that we should make a spray bottle with watered down PLA and spray it over the grass to make sure that the grass and the pebbles stay in place before you do that. Before you varnish it.
You can do that.
So we've talked about how you feel about going to Atlanta. We've talked about why I wanted to go to Atlanta. We have not talked about how excited you are to have a commission job. That is not a friend. That is a real person. No, but so far, like, you have worked mostly for friends. And this time it's someone that we do not know.
Yeah, he's yet to be a friend.
Hmm?
He'll be a friend, as soon as he gets this, and he's happy with it.
Or he could hate you.
He could. I did send him a picture of the progress, and he's like, he watches the Wednesday hobby stream, and said that, you mentioned, you're working on the display board for this event, and I totally understand that takes priority. I hadn't mentioned that. I just said, I've been working on a display board. He's like, totally makes sense, and I understand why that's a priority. So he gets it.
That's good.
But no, these will be built today.
All 18 of them?
Well, let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more left to build. And then, I have to let these dry, and then I gotta put gravel on them, and then I gotta damage them.
And the columns.
And columns, and bruins, and all sorts of other details. So, we'll say the flooring will be cut, or laid and cut today. Because there's still some stuff on the display board I want to finish up, and there's models for the Tau I still need to build.
Mm-hmm. And you have me today. You maybe will have me tomorrow if I'm still running a fever, because I may not come back while running a fever.
It seems like I'm a slave driver, forcing you to paint models while you're sick.
Oh, I'm just saying that my company's policy is I may not come back if I have a fever.
Well, I hope you don't have a fever, because I don't want you to be sick.
I'm not dying.
I'm also not forcing you to paint anything.
Yes, disclaimer, he is not torturing me or blackmailing me, or there is no...
It's like those videos. If you could have me for 24 hours, what would you do?
I would have you paint my pile of shame.
We're painting the pile of shame today.
Bring your brush, because you're going to wash. No, and as you can hear, I am not dying. My health is fine-ish.
Fine-ish.
It's fine when taking medication. I just may not come back while my fever is artificially lowered. That's company's policy. Well, let me rephrase that. That's a policy that I made for my people, so that they have excused absence as long as they are running a fever. Because I think that people who are sick should take care of their health instead of wondering when they're coming back to work. And now I'm trapped in my own game.
Yeah, there are people at your job who like they don't know the meaning of sick day, and they're like super proud, like I've never called off sick, and I'm like, dude, just go home, like.
Different folks, different strokes, you know?
Coming into work sick and making all your colleagues sick because you have a pride issue doesn't...
I agree, and that's why you're not allowed to come back if you're still running a fever. Because I don't care how you feel about yourself. I do not want your little colleague and friends to catch what you got just because you really, really want to prove how tough you are. I mean, I have better things to do with my time than police that. Which now compels me to not come back until I'm better. So there's that. I thought it was a great idea of a policy. Until it means that tomorrow, if I'm running a fever, I cannot come to work.
Well,
so you might have me for tomorrow. Long story short.
Well, you don't have to prove how tough you are, Eloise.
I'm not proving how tough I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not painting to prove how tough I am. I am painting because with meds, I am fine-ish.
I think I'm okay with meds. Fine-ish.
And that's exactly that. I mean, would I go run a marathon? No, I would run out of air. I mean, we went in a restaurant where the air was not very, very clean. For what, half an hour?
Probably closer to an hour, but yeah.
An hour. And my lips were blue. Like, that's how well I'm doing with oxygen right now. So...
Yeah, they didn't particularly believe in ventilation at that restaurant. They're like, ventilation, what's that? I haven't heard of that before.
Ventilation, who dat?
Who dat?
Okay, I just realized that since I come back from letting the dogs in, you've seen the light on the ring light, which means that it's been super dark. Apologies. So yeah, you can stop the stream. I still think that you should finish one project, but that's me.
Well, I need to go cut ruins and columns, and that's super loud, and
That's true.
I have to like physically leave because I don't have any of them here, but I also need to cut more foam blocks since I'm running very low.
Alright.
So yeah, let's call it. I mean, we've been on for about an hour and a half now, so do you want to show off what progress you've made? Give me a second.
I am not at all at a good stopping point.
Oh, okay.
Like, not even close at all. Plus, the screen is on you, it's not on me, so.
Alright. So let me show off some of the work that I've done since we've been on stream. So we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. As they're coming apart. And this is why you don't mess with stuff, because it's still fully drying. So, I made 6 bases. I cut down, I believe, 4 edges. So, next steps for this particular project, I am going to let these fully cure, and then I'm going to trim these off in a circle, and then I will add on more ballast, battle damage, like carve into them, texture the foam, just to make it more visually appealing. Add some character pieces like runes and columns, imperial iconography, and just make them interesting looking. Yeah. So give it more height and depth and character, for lack of better words. And then after all that, so my goal is to get that all done today, and then I'll post pictures on my Instagram. Maybe I'll even do a reel. Why not? Reels seem to do way better than pictures. And I will keep everyone up to date on all the social media feeds. So Still Frosty Gaming on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, along with stillfrostygaming.com.
Do not hesitate to like this video if you want to see more hobby related content. The hobby videos usually do not quite as well as the
shorts and
the battle
reports.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want more hobby related content, be it tutorials on how to do things, short form videos, long form videos, live streaming sessions, let us know. Let us know what kind of videos you want to see, and we can definitely get those ready to go. I'm always looking for inspiration and what kind of stuff I want to work on.
And please let me know if I'm right. I know I'm right. Please let me know if I'm right and you want to see a project from top to bottom, like the cooking show method where you have prepared at different steps, at different highlights, so that you can see within one stream the beginning and the end and the final result and all of that. I know that's when I watch content, that's what I want to see, but I acknowledge that I'm a weird cookie, so I am by any means not pretending to be the way things should be. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
I'll see you later.
Bye.